Good morning, everybody. I must say it was a splendid occasion this morning when we all had coffee, and quite a few of the MDS MAs with long tenure actually walked up to me and say, "We're just so glad everybody listened last year when we commented that this is so necessary for our business." So quite a few people woke up 2:30 this morning, some later to be here. I appreciate it. Last year was the first time in 5 years that we had a MDS national conference. Because it was the first time, we thought it's the right approach to invite the first 120 odd marketing advisors if we go to the production lists. And it was a roaring success, but thereafter, when we went to the regions, launches, roadshows, and so forth, the one comment was always, why don't we invite the whole audience? So it's so important for us to be together today. And I want to challenge you, use the next 2 days. Use it from a content perspective. Use it to better yourself, challenge yourself, mix and share thoughts with your peers as well. And make sure that when you return to your working place, it's not the same person that arrived here. So I'm going to keep on talking and share cricket scores and so forth with you until I can see the slides on this screen here. Which I hope will happen shortly. Okay, so I already welcomed you, and I think that's a roaring success. I think it's always the right place to start, to say, but what are we all about? So I want to anchor this discussion and show you the common thread from an MMI perspective, a momentum retail perspective, and into MDS. So thank you, I'm back. So our vision, we always said it from an MMI perspective, is to be the preferred lifetime financial wellness partner of consumers. So our purpose, or like some of our ExCo members refer to, I really like the term as well, why do we get up in the morning out of bed? To enhance the lifetime financial wellness of people, communities, businesses. I want us to really reflect on what we say here. If this is a purpose, it's not just warm breath, it's not just something we say, it's something that we live. We have a culture-based, a values-based culture. We are very, very serious and even jealous about the MMI and the momentum culture. And we always listen to our community as well. And that's why we are going out into town hall sessions close to your place of business in the next month to spend time with you and to make sure that what the MMI way states as our culture is understood by each person in the organization. It's so important that we all align and understand and say, I subscribe to this. But like Mo said, we are halfway past the first road marker in our financial year. So with 7 months down in the financial year, where are we as a business? Let's look at the scoreboard. It's quite a busy slide, but I'm just going to take you quickly through it. But it's important that we all just realize this is our responsibility. What you see here reflects, as we said at the roadshows, on nearly 45% of Momentum's, MMI's results. When we look at multiply, currently we stand on 45% of the target that we set for ourselves. It was a stretching target. Why? Because this is what we believe. This is where we anchor our story. We will certainly have to step up our game there. When we consider recurring risk business, sit on 92%, do exactly the same amount of business as the previous year. The one point I want to make is if you strip it out and you take a very different view of the production we extract from the IFA world, even in December, we actually showed a 25% increase December on December. Point is, in the IFA space, we are certainly winning back ground that we lost a few years back. Endowments touching 90%, RAs will make target. Very good news for me, the newer initiative, My Savings Portfolio, 115%. Health, 131%. Well done to everybody. It's a phenomenal achievement, and also the fact that we're 31% up on health sales on the previous year. MSTI, sitting on 90%, 33% up on the previous year. I'm really chuffed about that. But I'm absolutely red-faced about the MSTI referral initiative. If we consider what we've seen in Etienne's presentation, and specifically the full wheel of any consumer, any client, there is no way that we, and especially in the retail community, cannot turn our back on this initiative. This is Very, very important for all of us. And also that additional income stream for your broker and also anchoring the client. EB having a great year as well. And I'm sure quite a few of you will say, Riaan, why did you skip the investment sales? Do you know why? Because I'm too ashamed to say it. So really, we are much better than that. I'm going to show you how we are restructuring the investment division, what enhancements we brought out recently, and what we are focusing on. But this is not MDS. This is the one aspect that we will have to turn around in the second half of this financial year. What support do we have? And I want to rephrase it as well. What enhanced support will you actually see in the near future? So firstly, there are numerous pilot groups currently testing the new smartphone application. This is not something that we will have in June of any given year. We will have it in June this year. So that is going to be a massive impact. Just imagine for yourselves, your clients, your financial advisors, and yourself, if you have an amazing world-class smartphone application. And then, of course, talking to the same point, numerous enhancements currently being done, just the look, the feel, the practicality, and the transactional ability of our website. And then, of course, when I say intermediary online workspace, I don't want to go into depth now, but all of you, or most of you that work with MFP as well, think about financial advisor iBox, something very, very similar that will just enable you to really understand and also clearly display the practice of your financial advisor to him or her. Key differentiators. When we talk about game changers, when we think about what is going to differentiate me in the office of the intermediary where I go on a daily basis, we've said it at the past roadshow as well. If we think the future is going to be about comparing premiums, benefits, platforms, definitions, and so forth, and even if it's only the strength of my relationship, then we are missing the ball. We certainly have to understand what the client financial wellness story entails in practice, and how can I, as an ambassador, make it real in the communities where I operate on a daily basis. Multiply, of course, the enabler, and I want to just challenge you, and we're going to do it quite a bit in the next 2 days. If there's anybody that does believe there's a better value proposition out there, please come and have the guts and have a discussion with us as well. Investment structure changes. So it was always necessary for us to critically look at how we interact with the market from investment perspective. The decision was taken that Etienne Gous and his direct support team is going to sit in channel. They are much closer to the coalface where we work on a daily basis. They're actually part of the same team now and much more visible and present in the market as well. So you all know many of the faces on the slide. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go into that now. I think the one point that's very important as well is Sarah de Carvalho, that played for many years an instrumental role in the SI space, has moved into a new position called partnerships, and that's a business-to-business relationship between Momentum and key accounts as well. And then, of course, a new appointment in the Momentum investment consulting space. Florbella Yates comes to Momentum with years of experience, with a very strong brand around her as well, lots of expertise, and especially in the IFA space going forward, especially in this place, MIC is going to play a significant role in our lives. And then if you look at the right-hand corner, Frank de la Rey comes with years of experience. He used to head up for 9 years, I think, Stanlip Distribution as well. Frank is going to support us when it comes to IFA and investment sales with his relevant investment team. He's going to just make sure that we are stronger in that market. I just want to emphasize as well that what we used to call the SI marketing advisor team, they were joined now with the investment BDMs. And please hear clearly what I say. It's not that there's not a focus on SI-specific financial advisors. On the contrary, we really wanted to sharpen the focus. We really wanted to broaden the skill base and make sure that we have a stronger investment focus there. Technology, the last 3 months, I remember Andre Fick was quite verbal about some of these things that he wants to see. I haven't had a call, unfortunately, from Andre to thank us yet. So I'll sort that out with Andre. So the MDS online rewrite, just in the last 3 months, all these happened All these things happened from a technological perspective in the investment space. The wrap fund reports, the Reg 28 calculator and reports, and the CGT calculator. Things we've been asking for quite a while. But then, of course, in the immediate future, we can expect those things as well. MDS Online Rewrite 2, Welcome Pack, Advice Tool, Quote Tool, the new business process being much slicker and more efficient, client reporting, taking that to a next level, a revamped statement, and then, of course, the biggie for me is the wealth reprice. It's high time, and we've all asked for that, and this is in the close future. Just to anchor the next piece of my discussion into what we heard earlier as well. From an MMI perspective, client centricity, growth, and excellence, our absolute focuses. So how will we do it in MDS? How can you do it on a daily basis? We will focus very, very hard in the next few months to grow the number of supporting brokers. That's a number that's been stagnant for a while. It's so important for us to do business with new brokers, to bring in new blood into this community. Then, of course, it's critical for us to do more business with more new clients as well, and all the existing clients to increase their engagement. And, of course, Multiply will be the absolute underpin for that. And then, as I said earlier, it's our responsibility to make whatever financial wellness is in your mind, to make it practical. If we think footprint growth and make it very practical in your world, we have 1,342 brokers at this stage that consistently support us well across all the product lines. Within the next 5 months, we want to increase it to 1,500. This is our immediate aim. Then from a marketing advisor perspective, currently, if we look at the retail marketing advisor community, face-to-face and non-face-to-face, we sit with 203 retail MAs. Within this financial year, we will increase it to 220. The client base, Momentum Retail, has got 1.1 million clients as we sit here today, and we will have to ramp that up significantly as well. As was said earlier by Etienne, the average client has got a benefit holding of 1.8. 1.8 benefits on average per client. In this financial year, we really want to start get some traction and see if we can't take that to 3. And then, of course, our case count in the broker community is slightly down year on year to the tune of 5%. So from activity perspective, we'll step that up in the last 6 months as well. 9% of our total client book engage with Multiply. We want to take it to 50% as soon as possible. There's no reason, with all the collateral, the marketing stories, the advertisements, and then, of course, the way that we take the story out, that why we can't get to that as soon as possible. So the growth drivers, we have all talked about this quite a bit now. You are quite comfortable with it. I want to stand still at this specific slide. We will, in the near future, put the 4 building blocks or omni platforms in place. And I want to be very deliberate in what I say now. This is going to anchor our financial advisor's relationship with the client. This is not a competition. This is to make sure that we enable our financial advisors to support the client properly in their journey to financial wellness. And also in the process to make sure we don't miss any gaps or opportunities to unlock the value for the consumer, for the client, for the financial advisor, and of course for Momentum as well. I'm really excited to just go to a world where we don't just focus on the face-to-face capabilities, but where we say to our brokers, to our financial advisors, we are actually ready to support you and to actually just make your relationship with your client stronger. But what does it help us if we keep on talking about our Multiply story? But what does it mean? Does it really work for us? If you critically go and sit on a weekend with your inner circle, your family, your friends, and you analyze your experiences, are you comfortable to say this is a world beater? If we consider the savings Etienne showed for all the clients, in the MDS community, the people sitting in this room, the savings in 2016 amounted to 6.8 million rand. From a marketing advisor community perspective, 5.7 million rand was saved across all the benefits in Multiply. The regional manager 700,000 and the GM's 425. I think the regional managers can say a bit more if I think the correlation there with the GMs. On average, the average person in MDS saved 28,000 Rand last year by engaging with Multiply. This is a massive, massive story we need to take out to your financial advisors. The healthy heart returns only relating to MDS last year, 660,000. The total Myriad savings, only MDS consumers, MDS clients, 3.2 million. Only this community. It's a massive chunk. And then, of course, will they, my financial advisors, why will they listen to me? Are they ready for it? We all know the types of financial advisors we deal with. They are all in very different life stages in their careers. They are very different personalities. Will the bigger group listen to me? NMG's research, conducted in November last year, showed that they are definitely ready for the story. NMG is one of the most renowned international research firms based in London. We've been doing research with them the last 10, 12 years, both the investment and the risk side. What is important if we consider this slide? Financial advisors, you can see there's at least a 50% more awareness and readiness to use wellness programs in general over the last 6 years with their client bases. We must capitalize on this. What is important to the intermediary? And this is also more NMG research. What are the key factors to ensure that they support you? Why do they give the business to a certain provider in a certain relationship instead of the next one? If you look at the red graphs, that was the key factors. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, out of shackles. You will see the red bars is actually the most prominent features that was given through by the financial advisor community as reasons why they support last year. The most prominent one was the relationship management. Where I have the strongest relationship, there my business will flow. Then they said market knowledge, advice process, and so forth. What is key for financial advisors as recent as November 2016? Superior service. We realize we need to up our game there, just across the spectrum. And then, of course, holistic advice, speaking very strongly, once again, to the client wheel, not missing gaps, not just picking the eyes out, making sure that we look at the whole picture. And I'm just very glad to see that relationship management still the third most prominent aspect. And the one thing I just want to congratulate this audience is from all the participants, all the providers that took part in this research, Momentum came out the most prominent when it comes to relationship management. But literal quotes from financial advisors. What do they say about you, about the marketing advisor community? This is just relating to Momentum. If we say something to our Momentum broker consultant, she takes ownership and get it done. It's a good culture. That's a massive testimony. And also the fact that if your financial advisors can get to that point where they experience the culture and the way we do things, and I think that's a massive plus for us. Momentum's upfront discount makes it clear to our clients how much they are saving. No bells and whistles. It's clear, it's crystal. My clients know what they get. Momentum hasn't cut corners like its competitors, and so we are using them more as the rest of the market slips. I realize it's only individuals talking, but these are some of the most prominent risk writers in South Africa. Some more quotes, we'll do that later. What I want to indicate to you, this is a very important slide, it's a very busy slide, but if you just look at the left-hand corner, those are the most common attributes that financial advisors ascribe to Momentum last year. The right-hand corner is attributes that they say is more relevant at this space and time. And of course, the more it's amplified, it means more brokers actually use that attribute. The one word that's still absolutely there when pertaining to Momentum is solid, innovative, consistent. Bad service is definitely bigger than the previous year. Focused, ambitious, and so forth. What do they say about the competitors? Would you like to see that? Okay, do you want to see that? Good. No photos, please. Bright Rock, innovative, new, but I'll be very worried if the term smoke and mirrors start creeping into my descriptors. And even more so, rubbish, shocking. All right, That's their problem. Discovery Life, complicated. Innovative is still there. Bells and whistles, smoke and mirrors again. And I found this interesting. I don't think Sharks is referring to the rugby team. Liberty, poor service, solid, outdated, mediocre. But the one aspect that I think is really something as a big bother. Last year, extremely prominent, cheap. You don't jump in 1 year from this perception to expensive. So that's a very, very dangerous strategy. Old Mutual, inefficient, traditional, bad service, juggernaut. Sanlam, reliable, ambitious, old-fashioned, Afrikaans. Positive, negative, you can put your own interpretation on that. It's so important, and it's always been part of our culture, to just reflect on where we are. I think it's important to just mention, as we stand here, just past halfway in our financial year, we do have 19 marketing advisors. It's the most for many years. That is currently qualifying for the elite competition that will join us in Malta and Dubai on the preliminary results. I just want to stress that as well. Please don't pop the champagne. You have 5 months left. Stay in the race, remain focused. If we look at category 1, the top 5, well done, Minette Meinhardt, NEOS, Anna de Cruz, Johannesburg, Willie de Tooy, NEOS, Paul Maree, Keystone, and Elmarie Schools, NEOS. Preliminary qualifiers, category 2 at this stage, Monya, Andri, Cassandra, Fasti, Namisha, Greta, Venetia, and Charlie. Well done. Category 3, Riaan Coetzee, Jacques, and Ilse. Splendid. Category 4, and I just want to emphasize this, most multiply cases. Well done, Selma and Susan. It's a Cape thing, apparently. Category 5, newcomer, Gerard de Klerk. Well done. Moving on to the regional managers at this stage, Wim and Jan. Splendid. Well done, guys. At this stage, the general manager leading the pack, Suzelle. Well done. I want to urge the rest of the community. In many instances, the gap is very, very close. We've got 5 months left. This is where we do the most business in a year. Go out, guns blazing, and make a difference. Go and do it for yourself. So we'll see you from the 29th of September in Malta and Dubai. Kevin and Janine thought it was very important that I pointed out to you. It's actually a day longer than initially billed. So I think that's a positive as well. But before we get to that, what do I want to leave you with today? I want to be sure that everybody understands the absolute significance of what you do on a daily basis. It's critical for the consumer out there, the financial advisor, yourself, and the business, that we don't keep quiet about what we know is the truth. Go and spread the word. It's our responsibility to get our intermediaries to take ownership of the opportunities out there to make a real difference. And it's your responsibility. You'll know my favorite slide by now. Etienne said it as well. We don't want to use Oxford PhD doctor language. We work in real communities. Whether you speak to the neurologist, the physician, the teacher, the policeman, the farmer, we work with real clients. Make it practical. And that leads me into my next slide. Why can we, this community, not afford to be silent on what works for us? I was part of it now in the last 2 weeks in 3 instances. At social conventions, schools or this, or just a braai, where people walk up to me and say, do you work for Momentum? And I immediately say, yes, okay, you don't have an interface with me now to go into your policy, but yes, I do. That's just what I'm thinking. And they say, can you refer me to a proper financial advisor? Some of them very astute business people. Large construction firm owner, quite a big farmer on a balance sheet. And I say, but who's been dealing with your affairs up to now? And they say, the broker that I turned my back on because I heard from my brother, my friend, my wife, what Momentum Multiply is unlocking for them. Marie Botha was very, very evident in one of those cases as well, where consumers at a school gathering say, but if my broker is not telling me about this, I'm losing out big time. He's not looking out after my best interest. It's time for me for a new relationship. We can't be in that position. And then, of course, we have so many testimonies of clients that went for just a screening to get the points, something more serious or sinister was picked up, and they went for treatment, and today they live. We all know about those stories. Many people were just, because of Multiply, because they were prompted, just landed in a position where they said, maybe I must start with a budget. Maybe I must just make sure that I have a will, because I don't think I have one. Those things make a massive impact on the long run. What you do on a daily basis will resonate into the future. Please go and do what you've done up to yesterday, but please go and do it better. Thank you so much.